Hello and welcome to Chapters and Chatter. We are your hosts, Grace Lawrence,
Haley Cowan,
and Colleen Winder.
We'll have book analyses, guides to get into reading, listicles, and more.
We're here for all your book-loving needs. Enjoy.
My name is Chloe. I am a creative writing major, minoring in public relations and advertising and gender studies. So this is the workshop room that we have started using for classes, and at the beginning of the semester I had a very huge writer's block burnout, but I stayed in here and I wrote at the whiteboard for about 2 hours, just writing down ideas and words and even sounds that sounded right to me, and I eventually wrote a poem and I got back on it. So this room is very important to me for my creative process as well. Publishing academically wise, I do a lot of cultural critiques, essays. I marry kind of creative prose and academic language. That's what I like to do in more of a professional sense, but I love to write fiction. And poetry is a part of my daily experience for sure. So all across the board.
My name is AJ Dela Cruz. I don't necessarily have a process so much as I have a lot of ideas, and they kind of flow in and out depending on like what kind of space I'm in. So lately I've been doing a lot of fiction writing, which takes a lot more drafting and plotting than like poetry writing. So the process looks different across different genres. So it's usually some sort of action, some sort of thing that is driving the story that'll start it off. If it's something like poetry, then maybe it's like a particular word or a phrase. There was a poem that I had written, and the first line of the poem was, "I want to swallow God." Mm-hmm. And then that inspired the rest of the story, but also like the story within the poem. Oddly enough, I can't write if there's music playing, because then I get influenced by like the words in music. But also what I'll do is I'll write with other people in the room as long as they're quiet. I'll talk through the actual plotting motion of the story.
I'm Vince Michael. My creative process is basically I just have to sit down in a chair for a certain amount of time. Whether or not I actually get any work done is kind of up in the air at that point, but I just have to commit to like sitting in a chair, not looking at my phone, and just trying to create any type of content. If I feel like I'm not in the mind space to actually get what I want to get done, I can usually, maybe I'll journal or I'll just write whatever comes to mind, stream of consciousness kind of style. I'll be working on a piece kind of like in the background in the back of my head, even though like I won't realize it, but like maybe a 3-page rant about my day that I end up typing in an hour is actually helping me get to a short story that I've been trying to write. I'll either be up here in the 7th floor of Lawrence. We have a conference room that's, separated from everyone else. I need to be I'm either alone or I'm with other writer friends who are also not going to bother me. Study rooms are good. I like the study rooms at the library. I've been doing all 3 of the options that are provided at Point Park. So it's like poetry and essays and short stories. Well, the first author I really liked was Rick Riordan, Percy Jackson, because, that was the first time I noticed an author had a voice in his work. And Rick Riordan has a very specific humorous tone that I gravitated towards. There's some other like satire writers like Kurt Vonnegut or George Saunders. A lot of people were like, oh, I don't think I'm a writer. Anyone's a writer. Like, you just have to start writing.
If you write, you're a writer. There is no marker of, okay, now you're a writer other than writing.
Writing is a very intimidating act. It is putting the deepest, darkest parts of you out on a page. I think it's Franz Kafka in his diaries said, writers speak stench. And I believe that I live by that. Writers have an inherent duty to talk about the deepest, darkest moles of the earth.
Writing is not just sitting down and typing and writing things out, pen and paper. It's also thinking, it's also imagining, and it's also workshopping.
It's all going to be bad until you rewrite it. Like, the whole part about writing is that you rewrite something that's garbage about 5 times and then, or more, 1,000,000 times.
And that's very intimidating, but I think it's a very beautiful thing, and don't be scared of it. if you have a natural instinct to do it, you are meant to do it. So embrace it.
So just write.